Alright, what is up, YouTube? Welcome to week 9, and it is also New Year's Eve. Super exciting stuff. We're getting so drunk tonight. Psych, well, not really. Alright, so some updates for this week, following on from Christmas week. So, holiday periods, wait and see for my check-in back from SCAF this week. By the time this comes out, it'll have already landed, but pretty much know that nothing's changing from last week's check-in. Things will run as long as I can possibly tolerate them before we have a diet break. I'm only probably just starting to see resistance now around the 10 kilo mark, which is pretty to be expected and common. So weight slowing down to a little bit more. I did drop down to a 99 flat this week, which was crazy, but we're back up to about 99.6. Moved high day forward to today just to finish off the new year, get some sushi, have some extra calories, and then I'll do my normal low days Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I'll have my usual high day on Saturday. So SCAF likes to see check-in photos at my lowest point of the week now, so we've made that change. So I'll be sending my check-in photos from a Saturday for Monday's check-in, so it gets a glimpse at the lowest, flattest day of the week before photos. So yeah, all that's happening. What else we got on New Year's Eve? We're gonna go snag some Pokemon cards while everyone else is buying alcohol. I'm gonna buy some Pokemon cards, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing exciting. Rinse and repeat. Check-ins are kind of back to normal now. We'll be opening back up the books to an announcement for, by the time the video comes out, the books will be back open for 2024, so we'll put out some content to establish that. After reviewing things and obviously just standardizing the processes, I've improved our onboarding system a little bit more. We're just building out more resources and things like that to help people out. So yeah, a lot of stuff goes on behind the scenes of the system that we don't really show or talk about, but it makes sure that we can operate better and more efficient, with obviously asking for a high premium level of coaching. But yeah, we got leg day today now. RDL's posterior focus day. One of the things I'm noticing at the moment though is that I'm probably starting to feel a little less energized. Even after the high days, I noticed that this is not as satisfying. Energy is just a little bit more dipped, which is requiring a little bit more caffeine. But sleep is still good, 7 to 9 hours, which is fantastic. Supplementation wise, nothing's changed yet, which is good. It means we've got plenty of room coming into the back end of the show, end of the season, to really drive things if we need to, and try to retain muscle tissue. So very excited about that. And yeah, just noticing that now, waking up just a little bit more hungry, feeling a little bit more hungry across the day. Still easily got another 2 weeks in me of this. Actually, probably what will be this week, maybe next week. We'll see what SCAF wants to play, but yeah, probably looking at least another 2 weeks of this aggression before looking at maybe a diet break or an increased refeed to just reduce some of that. But yeah, it's all going to plan. It's all going well. Down 10 kilos in total, which is fantastic. In what is essentially, yeah, now coming up to 9 weeks. So we're expecting that rate of loss obviously to slow down, and what will become more standardized rate of loss after the fact, and we'll probably introduce some more food to slow down that loss eventually. But yeah, for the most part, everything's going well. Not dead yet, not completely exhausted, not running on fumes. It's got plenty in the tank before we increase food, so make the most of that, get lean, and then yeah, we'll go from there. All right. So Christmas gift card went to good use. Got a few mix and match packs. Got a Blastoise. And we got a few Astral Radiance, and we got a few Scarlet Violet base packs of the new edition of Pokemon cards. So, let's see what we got. God, it's been a long time since I've opened a booster pack. I'm horrible at this. There we go. Ooh. What did we get? Ooh, it's Heather. Winning. Togepi. Identified fossil. That's the rare in this one. Oh, there's your holo. I think it's called an reflective now, not a holo. Some of the Pokemon they come up with are hilarious. Combi. What's Psyduck? Ooh, there's a holo. Oh, there's a holo. Ooh, 2 stars in this one. Interesting. Ooh, an Eevee. Ooh, Beedrill. VMAX Beedrill. That's a win. I love how this says with your parents' permission. There's a reflection in there, I can see it. Ooh, Lucario. There's 2 shinies in there. There's Annihilate. Oh, it's Evolution of Primate. I've seen that one before. Last one of the unopened packs. A Minky. There's a few shinies there. Ooh, Hypno. Going old school. Sandal. Ooh, shiny research card. Interesting. A few good gets in there. Now let's see what we got in the random packs. Oh, there's a VMAX straight away. Ooh. So these ones are a mixture of uncommon, commons, holos, V-rares, and rares. Rhydon. As if Rhydon's a 0, a circle. Oh, and a Rhyhorn. There you go. Good mixture there. And last pack of randoms. Imbidim is a hilarious name. Ooh, Rhydon. Vulpix. And a lot of commons. These good mixes. They're good. Add these to the stack. There you go, so we've got a bunch of holos in there, some reflectives, Beedrill, that's the win. Taste. Oh. And yes, the plan is to fill these up with the originals. Ain't gonna work. Ooh. This. Yeah. We got Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah. Pokemon. Where is my original set gone? Oh, there we go. This is my actual original set from 1997, with a few specific ones missing. I need to find. Yeah. Oh yeah. 3 Egyptian god cards from the first series of Yu-Gi-Oh! No big deal. I've got my other main deck somewhere that have all my actual limited edition ones in it. Really rare ones. Unless I put them in that folder. I don't think I did. That was Tom's stuff that he gave me. Yeah. That's not taped. Oh no. Okay, more stacks. Alright, so here's the actual rare list. Original first edition Machamp. Original first edition Dark Dragonite. But we just saw first edition Ninetales. Alakazam. This card came out with the first ever Pokemon movie. So Warner Brothers presents Pokemon the first movie. This Charizard, or Charmeleon, we just saw at the shop, $330 ungraded. And that's even out of the first package that you got it in. Flareon, Beedrill, Moltres, Articuno, well the first Legendaries, Mewtwo from the first movie. That was a first edition Pikachu. There you go. It's a there you go. Where was that? Oh, there's this tin over here, that's right. I'll add those to that folder eventually. All right. All right, so today is a very clear example of looking at what is controllable during a prep. It is the 2nd of January. 95% of my program is occupied by people right now. The choice is mine to get angry about it, to get upset about it, or pivot and make an adjustment. This is not the machine that I used last week. This is not the exercise I did last week. It is a similar movement mechanic to last week, but it is not how I structured it. How I normally start the workout has been taken. People are on the machines that I normally use. It is my decision to sit around and mope, or it is my decision to amend the program and get done what I can get done and correct it. So that is what we're going to do. So instead of starting with standing hamstring curls, we're starting with single arm pull downs. Prep. Physique prep is one of the biggest things that you can look at as a singular action based system. How do I break down the next choice to a single action, and how do I do it? Instead of looking at the entire program being broken or being scattered or being messed up, how do I look at this and say, what's the next best thing that I can do? What is the next action that I have to complete? You do that across a prep, you do that across every single day, you do that across every single moment, and eventually you stack together the wins that get you to a position where competing is possible and competing in a good place. Break it down to the single most tangible action you can do. Stop looking at the larger picture and the outcome, look more at the process and perform those processes the best you can. That is how you succeed in a prep.
Whew. Ooh. Two. Uh, fuck. That. That. Ooh. So I just put a story on Instagram, and I think it's worth sharing to put to a more permanent platform, meaning it has a place somewhere to be heard. This year, I think one of the most important traits and skills that people need to practice is making this the year of utmost accountability, utmost responsibility, and utmost ownership. Look at where you are, look at why you're there, and look at how you're supposed to get out of it. Look at what the goals are that you have in place and what you are working towards in order to make them happen. Are you working on being a better person to make those goals achievable? Are you working on being the person who can achieve those goals? Are you working to actually recognize your role in the position that you are currently in and how you got there? This is one of the biggest cruxes that people have, especially in modern day psychotherapy, mindset coaching, and lifestyle, is everyone wants the validation for the problems that exist. Everyone wants the excuse for why the thing didn't pan out. But not many people want to look at their role in the outcome that occurred. What did you do or not do? What were you involved in or not involved in? What did you action or what inaction took place this year or last year to facilitate the outcome that took place? That, to me, is one of the best pieces of advice you can receive for 2025. Is no more years of someone else's fault, it's someone else's responsibility, it's someone else's job. The second you take accountability and ownership, take on the responsibility of improving yourself, take on the responsibility of being where you are, not looking at external factors and pointing the finger. Accept there are external factors, but also accept it is your responsibility to accommodate for them. There are always going to be variables that don't add up to you achieving the goal that you want. The question is, what variables do you manipulate that will help you achieve the goal you want? When you point to external factors, you're placing control on outside things that you cannot impact. Looking at internalizing and reflecting on what you have control over is the best way that you can approach goals for 2025 and beyond. What are you setting yourself up for in the future now that you have control over? Let's break it down to the lowest common denominator, or common factor. Let's say that your cruxes, your variables, your victimhoods are true. Then what? What comes from that is going to change that outcome? How do you change the stars if you're looking at that and saying, it's someone else's fault that I'm here, it's a system's fault, it's a social fault? Let's say that's true. I give you that validation, that's true. What do you do with that information? Does it make you achieving your goal easier? Does it make you achieving your goal better? Does it make you achieving your goal more likely? Or is it actually reflecting on what you have the responsibility to control, or that you have the responsibility to control, and it's your objective responsibility and job to manipulate the things you can control in order to make that outcome more likely. Different people have different disadvantages, absolutely. I can sit here and list off about my autoimmune diseases, my spinal diagnosis, single parent income household, inherent predisposition to genetic disorders, everything else. But none of that makes me going pro any more likely. None of that makes a 7-figure coaching enterprise any more likely. None of that makes changing the world any more likely than if I look at myself and, as Dr. Peterson says, start with cleaning your room first. What is the smallest thing in my immediate control that I can impact? Let's start with that for 2025 and see how you go for the rest of the year. Yep. And I just realized that I didn't record anything that I just said, which is fantastic. So prep is definitely kicking in. All right, so we are into leg day Sunday. Quick update is definitely starting to feel prep now. We're 10 weeks in. The aggression's starting to add up. Fatigue is much higher, recoverability is lower. Fat loss or weight loss is slowing down. That first 10 kilos just flew off, and now we're kind of body fat's dropping. But we hit a prep low this week of 98.8. And we're having 2 higher days yesterday, today. Oh, excuse me. Feel it. 2 high days yesterday and today, and then we'll be having a 12-day block of low days, really trying to drive some fat loss, make sure that happens. And then we'll be having another 2 high days, 12 days and 2 high days, then things will probably slow down. So realistically, we've got 4 weeks of utter hell left. And we'll see how that goes. Right now, I'm feeling the energy deprivation at a much greater degree. Fatigue is higher, energy lower, mood's lower. Running out of energy at the end of the day quicker. Thankfully, I haven't turned to any appetite suppressants or modafinil yet, so going to look at implementing that as of tomorrow to make sure I keep focus up and workload up. The other thing today is we are going to do a business strategy meeting for 25. So we'll be capturing that. We're not going to go full details with it, but we're trying to include that, what that looks like, and sort of what the major priorities and focuses will be for Matter for the next 12 months. So yeah, plenty to do, plenty going on. We're straight into the new year, straight into plans, straight into strategy, and we're still working. We're now first week into the year, and we've still got, I believe it's 15 or 12 weeks now until the first show. So now it's really time to get after it and really drive this fat loss. So let's do it. Do.
All right, so trying to get the least creepy angle on the old hip abduction. Got to keep my self-respect on social media. Fuck. Ow. Whoo! Ow. All right, all right, all right. Just gotta add yourself a little whistle. You know what I like about them high school girls? They keep getting older and I keep staying the same age. Yes, they do. Huh? When did I do that? It's pretty funny. Pretty fucking funny. Alright. YouTube, it is Sunday. It is my last of 2 high days for a little while. Alright, so as I kind of said on an Instagram story just this afternoon, today of all days, this week particularly, is probably the first week where I'm really starting to feel prep, mostly due to the aggression that we are in. We've been currently running a 5 and 2 low and high protocol, and we are about to move to a 12 and 2, meaning that basically 2 high days a fortnight as opposed to, and that's having to be 12 straight days before 2 high days. So yeah, it's going to be intense. I'm feeling a little bit of energy deprivation so far, as I kind of spoke about this morning. Training's not going too bad, but the ability to recover from the training is the main implicator here. So we are going to pull back on RAR, get by on like a maintenance level of intensity, and then we will push as needed, most likely on more accessory based single joint movements compared to higher compound, higher fatiguing movements. For all the Israel fans out there, talking about the stimulus to fatigue ratio, make sure that we are picking exercises to progress on that are a little less fatiguing, a little more stimulating. That will help us drive our volume up. Surprisingly though, today, pendulums felt worse than my Bulgarians. My Bulgarians I had an extra rep to, at 65 kilos per set, which is not small. So yeah, it's an interesting one. Right now, I am making some pumpkin and potato, some pan-fried onions, some mushrooms, some tomato, basically a salad mix, and a nice piece of steak for high day meal. We are going to look at grabbing a creamy. I've seen everyone raving about them. You seem to be able to get a decent amount of like volume out of just protein and almond milk, so that won't exceed my calorie targets at the moment. My carb targets, sorry. So we might look at getting one of those just to make the low days more bearable. Hopefully it doesn't impact digestion too much. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, right now, definitely feeling the energy loss a little bit more. Just desiring to want to do a little less, be a little less active, but still getting steps in, still getting cardio in, still getting my targets up. So nothing really stressed about in that regard, just noticing desire. And this is where I think the important part to prep is that people need to consider these systems that you build before you start prep are what save you when things get hard. For the most part, if I wasn't already someone hitting a decent level of steps and activity across the day, thinking that I would randomly be able to pull that off during a prep would be speaking out of my asshole. So for me, it's not something you're just going to miraculously pull off, suddenly adding more steps to your day, better sleep, or finding time to pose or do your cardio. They're all things that you are already doing in your life, in your system, in your schedule already, and then prep, you just find another gear to do it. So that's where I think this is probably my saving grace, is that even on the days where I'm not feeling like wanting to do it, I haven't really felt that exhausted by prep yet, because it's not anything new, it's not anything I wasn't already doing. This is probably just the heaviest loss of calories I've had in a long time, so that's probably why it's feeling the worst right now. The good news is fat loss is definitely dropping. Body fat's definitely coming off. Seeing substantial drops in the overall appearance of my physique. So we know that it's working at this level. A little bit more aggressive for a few more weeks, probably a month, and then we should be able to reintroduce some food again. That, even though it's probably going to be still a decent deficit, the food's been that low that it will probably honestly feel like a relief, and I'll probably end up recovering some energy towards the back end of prep and feeling a little bit fresher. So that is where we are. Right now I'm going to enjoy this, going to watch The Covenant. It's a good movie. That's a great movie. Name any movie. And then I'll have another meal, which will probably be some cereal, and get ready for returning back to work and everything else after the break.